Hello there.
Hey, what is up to you beautiful manga loving faces? It's your boy sevenseas, your Henry Real in other video. And yet another month calls for yet another manga haul. We have over 80 volumes from 10 different publishers. And one item that I guess it's like an art book, but kind of not. On top of that, we have a rare out-of-print series that I was super lucky to get my hands on for a pretty decent price and managed to piece together in the month of October. And oh man, I'm so excited to show you all because this manga has been on my radar for a very, very, very long time. And I'm so happy to finally have it in my possession. So to try to make sure this video isn't an hour long, once again, let's go ahead and hop straight into the manga haul. And to start this haul off, we have one volume from Darkhorse. And pretty common practice for me, I picked up a volume that I know nothing about, and that is Tomahawk Angel. Like I said, I know nothing about it. I looked at the cover, looked at the art, and was really interested in it. And I read the synopsis, and I was like, you know what? This might be something that's up my alley because the art is incredible. And to follow that, we have one volume from Squareenix manga, and that is Volume 12 of Soul Eater in the Perfect Editions. I can't wait for these Perfect Editions to conclude because I want to binge through the series. And Soul Eater Not is a series that wasn't really on my radar, but I found out just recently that they're going to be printing Soul Eater Not in these Perfect Editions as well. So I think I might be somewhat interested in those as well. So we'll see what happens. And next up, we have two volumes from a lesser known publisher known as Saturdayam. And both these series I am very excited to get into. Starting off, we have Volume 1 of Soul Beat. This has been in my Amazon cart for a very long time. Just simply based off the concept and the art, I think this is something that's definitely going to be up my alley, and I cannot wait to dive into it and see how I feel about it. And also from Saturdayam, we have Volume 1 of Underground, which was yet another manga that was sitting in my Amazon cart waiting for it to come out, and I'm so glad that it finally did, because this just looks like a typical up my alley fighting manga, and the art inside is incredible as well. So this cannot miss in my opinion, and I cannot wait to get into it. Next on the manga haul menu, we have two volumes from Webtoon Unscrolled, and we're going to start off with a larger trim size, probably the biggest trim size in my collection. We have Nobilis, Volume 1, or I believe it's pronounced like that. The anime for this series has been on my radar for a very long time. I haven't got into the anime, but like I said, I like to go into series blind, and I really like to read the source material of certain series. So I'm very excited to get into this very well-renowned and highly acclaimed series, but in the manga format. Based off of the little I do know about it, it is an action series, and looking at this, the only gripe I'm going to have is it looks like when they did this adaptation, they used a lot of white space for literally all the pages, but it doesn't change how excited I am to get into the series. And lastly, from Webtoon Unscrolled is a series that I have watched the entire anime for, and I absolutely love it, is The God of High School. This I'm a bit weirded out about though, because Webtoons Unscrolled, from what I've seen so far, they use those bigger trim slides like they do for Nautilus, and I'll go ahead and show you the difference between the two. But they decided that they are going to print The God of High School in like a typical trim size that you would see for like a normal Viz volume. I'm not complaining, I just think it's weird that they decided to go with this format for this volume and this much larger format for Nobilis. I don't know what the thought process was behind it, but like I said, I'm not complaining. I actually do prefer this trim size. It's very handy and portable. It's just what I'm used to. And this is a series that I cannot wait to read the source material for, because the anime, oh man, I absolutely love the anime, and this I know is going to make me so happy. Now moving on, we have two volumes from Ablaze Manga. Starting off with a series that I've had my eye on for quite a while as well, is Immortal Regis. I know next to nothing about this. I looked at the cover, read the synopsis, looked at the art, and decided I want to get into that and see what it's all about. So I'll definitely keep you updated on how I feel about this, but I am very excited to get into this, just like many other series that I have been picking up this month. It's a follow suit with series that I am going in completely blind with. We have Get Schooled, also from Ablaze Manga. This is a manhwa that, like I said, I read the synopsis. It seems extremely up my alley. Just a typical action manga about, I think it's like a delinquent school, where schools are just, there's an increase in violence and they got to figure out a way to bring it down. And well, that's where this guy comes into the picture. And I don't know much of anything about it, but once again, very excited to get into it and see what this provides. And next up, we have 3 volumes from Ize Press, starting off with Volume 1 of Overgeared. It's yet another series I know nothing about, but like I mentioned in my last haul, manhwa's been super interesting to me, so I've been picking up as much manhwa that kind of piques my interest as I can, and this is just another one on the list that I had my eye on and I had to go ahead and pick up. There's one thing on this cover though that got me pretty excited, and that is, where is it at here? Right here. Red Dice Studio, even though it is a different representative from that studio that adapts all these other series that I've been into, Red Dice Studio also adapted Solo Leveling and Tomb Raider King, so I have nothing but high hopes for this series as well. Now on to something that I do know about, and that is Volume 4 of The Boxer by JH. I'm now about 2 volumes behind, and I need to get back on the bandwagon because I absolutely love this manhwa series. Even though I've only read 2 volumes of it, it is definitely my favorite ongoing manhwa series, and I just cannot wait to enjoy and indulge in more of the content, because it's definitely one of those series that is right up my alley and does everything right for me. And like I said, I just cannot wait to get back into it. And lastly, from Ize Press was a series that I literally just went judging based off of the cover, and I had no idea what it was associated with until it showed up at my door. And that is Seven Fates Chaco. The cover looks incredible, you cannot deny, and the art on the inside looks incredible as well. The thing that kind of throws me off though is it's with BTS. And I only noticed this because there's another series that's coming out in November by the name of Star Seekers that I was looking at, and I realized I also had something down here, but it's like Forever Together or something like that. I don't know. I'll put the picture up here. This series, I kind of like looked into it. I read just a little bit of it, and then I realized that it was associated or using the characters from is it K-pop squad band group? What do you guys call them? I don't know. Anyway, but this is with BTS. So I'm hoping this is really good. I read a little bit of Star Seekers, and I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but I'm hoping that this blows me out of the water because it looks like it's so cool. It looks incredible. I just gotta put my brain past the fact that it's associated with a K-pop group, which isn't bad per se. I just don't know how I feel about it. Now, next up, we have 4 volumes from Sevenseas, and starting off, we have Volume 5 of Ayakashi Triangle, a series that I have mentioned and talked about previously, about how I was on the fence about it, and trying to make sure I wanted to continue to pick this up. I believe I'm now 2 volumes behind, so I need to get back on the bandwagon and make sure that I want to continue to pick the series up. But it looks like the ecchi of the series is somewhat toning down, because every single time I get a new volume, this is exactly what I do. I flip through it, and I'm like, okay, any etch, and if there's no, oh, okay, there's etch. Shit. Okay, so there's definitely some etch in this volume. I definitely need to get caught up and find out if I definitely want to continue to read the series. And next up, we have Volume 8 of Kimono Jihen, yet another series that I definitely need to get into. 8 volumes is quite a bit of content, and I keep pushing it off and telling yourself, okay, the next volume, or the next volume, or the next volume. I'm still waiting to get back into it. I wouldn't say the motivation isn't there. I hear incredible things about the series, so the motivation is definitely there. I just need to commit myself to picking it up and indulging in it and seeing how I feel about it, but I know I'm going to enjoy it. Now, speaking of series that I know I'm going to enjoy, and I have been enjoying, we have Volume 6 of Candy and Cigarettes. This volume is actually chunkier than all the other volumes previously that came out, but this series is just so good. I cannot remember if I read Volume 5, though. I'll have to check my reading log, because like I keep track of everything I read. Like I put it in a notes tab in my phone, so I can keep track of everything I read. So even when I don't know I read something, I can go back and like, oh, did I read it? If I have, I need to go back and refresh myself. But I need to find out if I read the series or not. Or sorry, if I read Volume 5 or not. If not, that's okay. It gives me more content to indulge and enjoy, because Candy and Cigarettes is honestly a series that I didn't expect to like as much as I do, and it's incredible. If you guys haven't gotten into it, definitely dive into it. And finally, from Sevenseas, we have the second omnibus of Humunculus. I still haven't gotten into the series yet, but now I have a total of 2 omnibuses and 4 volumes of this content to get into. I definitely feel like I should very soon. If you guys aren't subscribed to my boy Zag Rojo on YouTube, definitely look him up. Put his channel right here. Take a look at his channel. He actually did a video on Homunculus. I believe it was titled Manga in Human Condition, and it was a very introspective, very interesting video talking about this series, and it definitely gave me the itch to get into it, and I need to. I most definitely need to. It was actually Zag that got me into Hell's Paradise. This man was spreading the gospel after he read that series because he wanted so many people to indulge in it, and I definitely enjoyed it after I did, and I have very high hopes for this series just based off of what Zag was telling me about it. So I'm hoping and praying that I enjoy this as much as he did. Now let's get into some yenpress, starting off with volume 4 of Shy. I haven't read this volume yet, but I am caught up to volume 3, so this is the only volume I need to read to get completely caught up to what's currently out. This series definitely surprised me. I didn't expect it to like it as much as I did. So it's one of those series that every single time I get, I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to see what's next, because this series has just really captured my attention and my interest just based off of the characters, the art, and the story that's going on currently. It definitely has questions that I need answers to and characters that I enjoy just seeing on the page, so it has a lot going for it. And next up from yenpress, we have a series that I still haven't touched yet, but I keep picking up now, and that is Goblin Slayer. This is Year 1, Volume 9, I believe. Volume 13 of like the original series? That is also coming out in November, so I'm excited to pick that series up as well. But I need to jump into this and see what's going on with the series. I hear nothing but good things about it, and some kind of weird, messed up things about it. But I have some high hopes for the series. I feel like I'm really going to enjoy it because it is a dark fantasy series. And dark fantasy, as much as I don't read as a lot of it, I am very much into it. So I have high hopes for the series, I just don't know much of anything about it. And to follow that is a series that I talked about very deeply, mainly about like my mental battles with it in the last haul, and that is volume 2 of The Summer Hikaru Died. I'm waiting to get caught up from where I was when I was reading it digitally, so I think it's like another 2 more volumes before it catches up to where I was, and then I'm going to continue to read it physically. But I will be more than happy to pick up these volumes and have them in my collection, just in case anyone's like, hey, what is that about? And I can be like, well, let me tell you a story about something that's really weird. But this is definitely that. This is definitely really weird, but the art is incredible and the story is very captivating. If you're not interested in like weird, dark, psychological horror, because I do feel like this is a bit psychological, nothing crazy and scary has happened quite yet, but the psychological stress of you trying to piece things together and figure it out, that is where I feel like this series definitely prevails. And to follow that is a series that really captured me based off of volume 1, and this is actually the penultimate volume. We have volume 2 of The Witch in the Night Will Survive. I had to make sure I was reading it right, because every time I've talked about the series, I switch it. It's The Night and the Witch Will Survive, but no, it's The Witch and the Night Will Survive. This is, like I said, this is a penultimate volume. It ends with volume 3, which I did not know, but I am kind of okay with. I'm just hoping that this volume does it justice. I'm hoping the final volume definitely does a good job of wrapping it up, because this is a series that could have gone a long way based off of its concept. It had a lot of potential, and I'm hoping it lives up to that potential, even if it's just 2 more volumes before we conclude. So I'm very much looking forward to reading this series and seeing where the series goes from here, and then of course seeing how it ends. Because like I said, I was definitely into it after volume 1, so let's see where it goes. And lastly from yenpress, we have volume 4 of Coffee Moon. I was talking about the series in my last manga haul, and I still haven't gotten into it yet. I will very soon. I think with volume 5, I'll go ahead and binge through the first 5 volumes. But I just haven't gotten into it quite yet. I'm very excited to do so though. I hear a lot of really good things about the series, and I have very high hopes for it. So I'll keep you updated on how it goes when I finally read it, because I do want to get back into making reading log videos, but reading log videos would involve me actually reading, which I've been doing lately. So I'm making sure I'm reading, so I give you guys some reading log videos, and we'll see where this goes.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Did you all know that over 80% of you that watch the videos are not subscribed to the channel? That hurts just a little bit. So if you want to help me feel a little less pain deep down inside, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and of course hitting that bell notification so you don't miss out on anything I plan to put out in the future. I appreciate it. It was good talking to you. Now, next up, we have 17 volumes from Kodansha, starting off with something I briefly talked about in my last manga haul, and that is Joker. What is it? One Operation Joker. This is the DC Kodansha collaboration manga that I told you guys about that involves Joker taking care of a baby Bruce Wayne. I definitely had my eye on it. I know the Omnibus Collector recently made a video. Well, he was talking about it in his manga haul as well, and said out of the three, this one definitely was the weakest out of the three, but this is the one I'm the second most excited for outside of Batman Justice Busters. So I have a lot of really high hopes for this manga to see if I enjoy it, and I'm hoping I do. It's just such an interesting concept about Joker taking care of a baby Bruce Wayne. Something about that just really calls to me, so I'm excited to see where this manga goes. And next up from Kodansha, we have Volume 2 of Seraph of the End, Gurren Ichiro's Catastrophe at 16, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, okay, I got it. Good time. I got it. I still haven't gotten into the series yet because I still haven't gotten into Seraph of the End, the base series, but I can't wait to get into that, and I can't wait to get into this. Like I mentioned in my last haul, was the haul before that. I believe it was my last haul. I'm into vampire tropes, and I don't mind adding more vampire manga to my collection. So, like I said, I'm going to continue to pick these up, and I will hoard them in my collection, and they'll stare at me until I finally get into the Seraph of the End, we'll call it mythos, story, and see where it goes from there. But like I said, I'm excited to just add more vampire manga to my collection. Now, next up from Kodansha is definitely a series that I do know quite a little bit about, and that is Go Go Loser Ranger Volume 7. I'm behind a couple volumes. I haven't read Volume 6, and I haven't read this most recent volume, Volume 7. But this is a series that I recommend to you all on a consistent basis because, in my opinion, the series does not miss. It is such an interesting and unique concept using a universe that a lot of us grew up indulging in, which was like the Power Rangers universe or the Super Sentai universe. But this is such a unique story using that type of genre or mythos, and it's chef's kiss. The characters are incredible, the action is impeccable, the world building and storyline is just doing everything it possibly can to grab my attention and keep it. It's doing a damn good job. But to follow that, of course, we have another series that I haven't read any of, and that is Volume 14 of Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. Still haven't read the base Fairy Tail series, but like a lot in my collection, I will continue to pick up these volumes and hoard these volumes in my collection until I get around to them, and I will be more excited to get into them when I finally do. But till then, if you all are reading this or have been caught up to it, please be more than welcome to motivate me in the comment section down below and let me know how you feel about this series. And following that same thing, we have another series that I haven't read anything of, and that is Volume 17 of Orient. Yeah, like I mentioned before, I am waiting to get all of Magi before I get into Orient, even though they have nothing to do with each other. It's just something I've had in my head about how I want to get into that work from Shinobu Otaka first before I get into this. And I might be considering paying over retail to get them. I know, it pains me too, but I've been waiting so long, and I don't know if it's ever going to get reprinted or come back in stock, whatever the case may be. And I really want to read it, so I might go that route. I might not. I don't know. I haven't talked myself into it or out of it yet. But until I get that completed, I won't be getting into this anytime soon, unless this is the only exception I'll make. If this completes and concludes before I get the final 2 volumes that I need for Magi, then I'll dive into this, which might actually happen. Who knows? And we're going to continue to follow that theme of series that I haven't read anything of. It's Volume 18 of The Heroic Legend of Arslan. This one actually came out, was it like back in August or March? It came out not in October, and somehow, some way, I missed it in my pre-orders, and I saw it in, I can't remember whose haul it was, but someone had it in their haul, and I was like, wait a second, why don't I have that in my collection? Did I miss something? And I went back and I found out when it came out, and like I said, I can't remember when it came out. I'll put it right here. It came out at this point, and I somehow completely missed it. I was beating myself up. I was like, holy crap, how did I miss it? So I went back and ordered it on Amazon and got my hands on it. I'm not reading the series currently, but I do not want to miss out on having the volume for the series because the name attached to this, Nura Rise, is one of my go-tos, one of my favorite mangakas, and I do want to have every bit of her work that I could possibly get my hands on, at least when it's accessible, and let it sit there until I'm ready to come back and read it. So I can't wait to get into this, or at least I can say I can. So it is one of those series that I'm waiting to get into, but I am more than excited to get into it when I finally do. It's just, I have so much manga in my collection, and when I go through these reading ruts where I don't want to read nothing, my collection only gets bigger around me, and I'm not reading enough to catch up or to keep up in any way, shape, or form. But like I said, this is a series that I'm definitely excited to get into whenever I finally decide to do so. Now, this next volume, this is the mark of something that is to come, and that is the final volume of Fire Force, volume 34. I've mentioned it time and time and time again in my hauls that when this series finally concludes, I will be binging all of it all over again, and this is it. This marks that time. I will be binging it as soon as I possibly can. Got a couple volumes that I'm reading currently that I want to get caught up on, and some volumes that just recently came out that I want to catch up on because I am reading them as they come out. So this is definitely going to be binged through very, very soon, and I cannot wait to do so. Because Fire Force, like I've mentioned before, is one of my absolute favorite series of all time. It was one of my favorite ongoing series, but now it's one of my favorite concluded series, and I cannot wait to binge through the entire series and see how it ends. Because I know this experience, I don't want it to end, but I'm so excited to see how it ends. And the ending was kind of spoiled for me. I was so traumatized by the spoiler that I kind of knocked it out of my head. I just know what it's associated with. I just don't know anything on how it gets there, basically. So that's what excites me about this series so far. Even though I know what's associated with the ending, or like kind of like the ending, it's weird to explain. I can't tell you what I saw. I don't want to spoil it for you as well. But let's just say I am very excited to get into this work, binge it all over again, and then get into another work that somehow, some way, is tied into this one. Did I just see it? Stop. Stop. Oh man, I'm spoiling so much for myself. Woo! Okay, moving on. Now we're back on the bandwagon of series that I haven't read yet. We have Volume 2 of Windbreaker. I continue to hear really good things about the series, even after Volume 2, and it just excites me to get to the series more and more and more. So this is something I definitely want to read. I think I'll wait till Volume 3 to binge the first 3 volumes and see how I feel about it. Until then, I'll continue to pick it up, put it into my shelves, and I'll be very excited to read it the moment Volume 3 comes in. Because, like I said, I hear nothing but good things about it, and it seems like it's up my alley, so we'll see where this goes. Now, next up is a series that I know just a little bit about, but I am behind by, I believe, 2 volumes, and that is the Tsugumi Project Volume 3. I haven't read Volume 2, I haven't read this most recent volume as well. Volume 1 did such a good job of capturing my attention, and I definitely was interested in this series as a whole, from the art to the story to everything going on in between. I was definitely invested. But I heard that this series is actually ending, I believe, in 6 volumes, so I am going to hold off on reading any more of it until it concludes, and then I'm going to reread Volume 1 and binge the other 5 volumes to conclude the series to see how I feel about it towards the end. But I have a really good feeling about it. I really, really liked the first volume, and I really liked the story concept that it was going along with, so I have very high hopes for this series. Regardless of how short it is, I think short series recently have been really good for me lately. It's a low commitment, and it can do a lot in a short period of time. All depends on how it does it, but this one definitely has the potential of doing a lot in just 6 volumes. And to follow that is a series that I stopped reading on Volume 1 as well, but it has nothing to do with how good or bad the series was. That is Blue Lock. We have Volume 9 here. This, like I said, and I mentioned on multiple occasions, definitely captured my attention after volume 1, but I enjoyed it so much that I was like, let me stop and continue to hoard more and more material that I can binge at a later date. And it's getting closer and closer to that time where I think it's time for me to binge. I think volume 10 to me is a good amount of volumes for me to binge through and then get caught up from there and read them as they're coming in. But I hear nothing but good things about the series. In fact, I hear nothing but incredible things about this series, and I cannot wait to dive right back in. Now, the second to last series I have from Kodansha is actually quite a bit, a few volumes, if I do say so myself. This is actually everything that is currently available from this series that I've heard incredible things about, and I kind of bought them on a whim. I just needed a few extra volumes in my cart for free shipping from Books A Million. And the second order I made, I just threw these in there because I was like, look, I'm like right around the corner from being caught up. Let me just go ahead and pick them up. And that series is Wisteria, Wand, and Sword. I hear a lot of really, really good things about this series from, I believe the main person I hear really good things about the series from is the Manga Sloth. He talks about the series very highly, and this is something I didn't know until I actually got it in my hands, but is from the same author as Is It Run to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon. Now, I'm not into that series, and I haven't gotten into that series quite yet, but I hear incredible things about the series, so I have really, really high hopes for this series as well, especially since when Manga Sloth talks about it, he compares it kind of like to a Black Clover, and if you all are aware, Black Clover is my currently favorite ongoing Shonen Jump series. So if you're going to compare something to Black Clover, you have my attention. So this month I picked up Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, and the most recent volume, Volume 6. So like I said, I know next to nothing about this series, but I am very, very excited to dive in and see how it goes. And lastly, what I got from Kodansha is the 4th volume of the full color hardcover editions of Parasite. Still haven't gotten to the series yet. I'm waiting to get all 8 volumes in my collection before I can binge it and see where all the hype is about and where all the hype is coming from, because I hear incredible things about the series and incredible things about the anime as well, which I'm thinking about doing like a dual watch read kind of thing, like watch a bit of read a bit of manga, watch a bit of the anime, read a bit of the manga, watch a bit of the anime, kind of going back and forth, indulging in both of the mediums and seeing which one I like more, and then going from there. I'm really, really excited to get into the series because I keep hearing nothing but incredible things about it. Now, lastly, we're going to get into my favorite publisher, and the publisher I almost always get the most from, and that is, of course, Viz. I have 44, technically 45 volumes of manga to show you all, so let's get right into it. Starting off with the one-shot Spider-Man Fake Red. I've heard a lot of really good things about this one-shot, and I had it in my cart a couple of times and decided against picking it up, but I decided to go ahead and do so, and I cannot wait to see what all the hype is about. In fact, something weird kind of happened where when I ordered this volume, I didn't just get one, I got 2. So I will be giving my second copy away, and I will let you all know how to enter the giveaway at the end of the video. But aside from that, I am very excited to get into the series. I hear a lot of really, really good things about it, but I'm afraid to get my hopes too high because the last manga adaptation of a Marvel IP that I indulged in was Deadpool Samurai, and that one was entirely the worst, but it was for a very niche part of the community where like you had to be really, really into Deadpool to get any type of enjoyment out of that manga, which I am. I really do like Deadpool, and it definitely saved itself with some of the wacky stuff that happened in the second volume. But I don't want to expect too much from this so that I'm not disappointed. So I hear a lot of really good things about it, but I'm going to hold my opinion until after I read it. And next up from Viz, we have Volume 2 of a series that's been getting a lot of hype, and that is Akane Banashi. I haven't read Volume 1 yet. I haven't read Volume 2 yet either, of course. It goes without saying. But I hear a lot of incredible things about this series, and I cannot wait to get into it when I finally do. And next up from Viz, we have a series that I am definitely caught up to, aside from this most recent volume here, and that is Dan Da Dan. This I have mentioned a many occasions. It is one of my favorite ongoing series, and I hear nothing but good things from the community, and I have nothing but incredible things to say about this series. I'm just such a huge fan of this mess of a goofy, absolutely weird manga with a lot going on and a lot going for itself. The action is incredible, the comedy is on point, the storytelling is amazing, the art is just so freaking good. This is just definitely one of my favorite ongoing series. Doesn't take the crown like it would for Black Clover, but it's definitely up there, and I'm always excited to read more of the series every time a new volume comes in. And yet in other Shonen Jump series that I hold fairly high, we have Mission Yours Kuro Family. I mentioned in my last haul that I was getting caught up to this because the story was getting very, very juicy, and I definitely did get caught up. I didn't get what I really wanted out of the most recent 2 volumes, but it wasn't the worst. I feel like when it comes down to certain things in this series specifically, they give you like little sprinkles of serious like plot development, and then they go back to like a bit of like a relaxed episodic type of series from chapter to chapter, and then they sprinkle something serious in, and then they get back into being mellow and episodic. But I don't mind it. I'm actually quite a fan of it. How even though it's episodic, everything kind of ties in together, and then they sprinkle, like I said, a lot of like really heavy plot development elements to it, and then you're like, holy crap, what's going on? And then they lower it back down. So I don't mind it. It's like it's a roller coaster. You get some high highs and some pretty decent lows, but I feel like the series does a lot of really good stuff. The art, like I said, I've mentioned before, is really good in my opinion, and I'm just excited to see where the series goes. I think that's like what I'm trying to get around to. I'm excited to see where the series goes. In the follow that we have yet another series that I'm a pretty big stand for, and that is Kaiju number 8, volume 8. Finally happened. It aligned. But oh man, the series to me is so good. Some people have been saying that it's kind of falling off. I haven't felt that way personally at all. I feel like it's keeping up. It's been getting fairly slow, but I feel like it's because this has so much going on that it can't be action all the freaking time, which I don't mind. I really do like my action all the time, but the times where it is kind of slow, it's developing the plot and it's pushing it forward just a little bit. But like I said, I haven't fallen off of this series. I still think it is incredible, just as incredible as it was when I first started it. I'm just a huge freaking fan of it, which is needless to say because I keep saying how much I absolutely love it every single time a new volume comes in. And yet another series I am a pretty big fan of, and I think this goes for quite a few people in the community. We have Spy Family, volume 10. This series is coming out pretty slow, but it's okay. I read these the moment they show up at my door as well, so I don't mind waiting just a little bit more time in between. We're also getting a lot of this manga's other works, like I believe last month, I'll pull this volume out from down here. We got this volume 1 of Blade of the Moon Princess, which is by the same mangaka, which is another one of their works before they started getting really popular with Spy Family. And that's been happening a lot because we also got Tista from the same mangaka recently as well. So I don't mind how long it's taking for these volumes to come out because they are giving us other material from the same mangaka, which I think is a-okay in my book. But this series is incredible. Needless to say, I'm sure you've heard amazing things about it from many people in the community. So go ahead and pick it up and see how you feel about it for yourself. And next up is a series that goes without saying, it is very, very hyped up. I believe the hype is kind of dying down with part 2, and that is Chainsaw Man Volume 12. They are finally back in English print. This is the first volume of what we consider Chainsaw Man Part 2. I haven't read much of Chainsaw Man Part 2. I read a couple chapters when it first started coming out on the Shonen Jump app, and then I cut myself off the moment it started, well, the moment it got announced to be in print, because like I've mentioned on the many occasions, I rather read my manga physically. So once I heard that it's coming out in print, cut myself off, and I decided to wait. And now the wait is finally over. They finally get back into reading Chainsaw Man physically, and I cannot freaking wait. Now a series I can wait on, and I probably shouldn't because it's getting quite deep. We have volume 13 of Moriarty the Patriot. I'm really behind. I believe I am 11 volumes behind now. A certain character got introduced and I stopped reading it because of it, because I was like, man, I just want more material of this to binge, and I just haven't gone back to the series yet, but I will continue to pick it up because I continue to hear incredible things about this series. Not many people are talking about it, but the people that are talking about it are speaking very highly of it. So like I said, I'll continue to pick this up. When that motivation to read through the series again hits me, I will go ahead and do so, because it was an incredible read from what I read so far. And then other series that has been getting incredible hype, we have Undead Unluck, Volume 13. This series had one of the craziest flips from what I've seen in the community. A lot of people weren't a fan of it, and not many people were talking about it, and it felt like almost out of the blue, everyone was talking about it, and everyone was a fan of it. And I cannot wait to get into the series. 13 volumes is definitely quite a bit of content that I should be able to binge through and be pretty happy about it, but the motivation to get into the series isn't quite there yet. I feel like if it continues to gain more and more hype, the motivation to pick it up and binge through it is definitely going to get higher and higher. But till then, it will sit on my collection and wait for me to pick it up and binge through it all. But like I say about many things in my collection, I know I'm going to enjoy it, and this is no exception. The next up is a series that I have mentioned that I've been waiting for it to conclude to go ahead and binge through it, and this is another one of those series, and this is the final volume of that series. We have volume 15 of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. This is something that I've had really good things to say about when I first started it. I can't remember where exactly I stopped reading, but I wasn't very far into the series itself before I stopped reading it digitally. But I had incredible things to say about it, and I still think it is an amazing series. So now that it is finally concluded, just like Fire Force, this is another one of those series that I definitely want to binge through and see how this story goes and concludes, because I am very excited to see how it does so. It is such an incredible series, especially if you are a My Hero Academia fan. This is such a nice addition to the story. So I believe this does take place a couple years before the My Hero Academia story takes place. So if you aren't reading this, definitely get into it, see how you feel about it. Because if you're, like I said, a My Hero fan, this is something that's right up your alley. And we're back onto series that I haven't read anything of. We have volume 29 of Twin Star Exorcist. Yet another series that I hear incredible things about, and I'm surprised it's not over yet. Like 29 volumes, and I don't know when it's ending. I keep telling myself when it ends I'm going to binge it, but now it's getting daunting. Now it's getting intimidating. But I hold to it. I love binging my series, especially when they are concluded, because I can go from start to end all in, I wouldn't say in one sitting, but all in like a month or so, and see how I feel about the series as a whole, as opposed to reading through half of the series and being like, I wonder where this is going. Reading through an entire series that is concluded from start to finish, you get the whole story, obviously. But you get the whole story, and you can develop opinion on the whole story, not what's going on halfway through the series or what's going on about 10 volumes into the series. You can develop opinion on the whole series. So, like I said, I don't know when this is ending. I don't mind, and I don't care when it does, because I'll get around to it when it finally does. And another one of those series, keep mentioning, I know I'm going to enjoy it because I hear nothing but incredible things about it. And I've mentioned before, I am really into Exorcist tropes as well. Like I have like a checklist of things I'm really into. Like vampire tropes, Exorcist tropes, samurai tropes. Those are all like the kind of things that I'm really into. So I have really high hopes for this series, especially since, like I said, I hear incredible things about it. And next up is a series that everyone has incredible things to say about, and it's finally back after so freaking long. I mean, it's going to take a while for another volume to come out, which is okay, because this mangaka needs to focus on their health. We can wait as fans, right? Right, guys? We can wait as fans for Yoshihiro Togashi to take his time with this masterpiece that is Hunter x Hunter. Volume 37 is the most recent volume. It's something that's been in the works for a very long time. And this is the first physical volume that we have gotten in God knows how long. Do I have volume? That's back there somewhere. I don't want to pull it out. I was going to see when volume 36 was printed, but this one was printed, let's see here. Literally October 2023 was the first printing. This just came out this month. and it's been a very long time since we got volume 26. Yoshihiro Togashi releases chapters at a very, very slow rate because of his health, and it's okay. I understand what he's going through. Obviously not personally, but he needs to focus on his health, and taking his time is definitely something that I'm okay with, even if the series doesn't finish, which would be a tragedy. I'm okay with it. What he has done so far in the community is incredible. The Hunter x Hunter anime and manga is very highly regarded in the community. Like, it's okay. Like, we can wait. That's all I can say. But having volume 37 is extremely freaking exciting. That is for sure. And to follow that, we have a manga that I might not be getting into the manga soon. Possibly, actually. But I might get into the anime first, because me and my sister were talking about this not too long ago, and I told her that I think we need to get into it, and that is Frieren Beyond Journey's End. I hear incredible things about this manga. I hear incredible things about the anime that just started airing, and I really, really do want to get into the series and start indulging in what it has to offer, because like I said, there is nothing but incredible things that I hear about this series, and it's not typically something that I'm usually into, but that's one of the reasons that draws me to it. So I want to try something new, and this is definitely one of those things. It is a fantasy series, but what exactly the story is about isn't what I would usually go for. But like I said, I'm so interested in finding out what this story is all about. And moving on, we have volume 27 of a series that I haven't gone back to yet. We have Komi Can Communicate volume 27. I keep picking these up. I really need to go ahead and binge through the series and see how I feel about it. But I just keep picking it up in the meantime. I'm really hoping that I do like it. But if I don't, I feel like it's okay. Like, no harm, no foul. If I don't like it, I'll sell it, and it'll be okay. Like, it doesn't bother me all that much. But I just hear incredible things about the series from people that are really big fans of it. Like one of my close friends, he absolutely loves this series, and I take his recommendations very highly, because he's mentioned and recommended series to me that I have enjoyed, like Siren right behind me, and I mention him all the time, Warlord Mudkip. So since he is such a huge fan of Komi Can Communicate, I'm like, okay, if he likes it, I need to give it a chance. I need to give it a shot. I need to indulge in all the content that I have available and all the content that is currently available and continue to pick up, because I want to see and I want to feel those types of admiration that he has for the series myself. Now moving on, we have the larger trim sizes from Viz, and starting off we have volume 3 of Boys Abyss. I talked to you guys about the series in my last manga haul. This series is it's something else. It's almost as weird as the Summer Hikaru Died. It might even be weirder. This one I have read quite a bit of online, as well as the Summer Hikaru Died. So I'm waiting for that to get caught up to where I'm at physically, and then I'll pick up where I left off. But I think that's like not for quite a while. But this series is something else. And to follow that, we have a manga from one of the GOATs. We have volume 7 of Asadora from Naoki Urasawa. I'm yet to get into the series as well, which is fine. I feel like Naoki Urasawa series are like way better when they're binged. The only one I have read so far is Pluto, and I absolutely loved Pluto. I can't wait to get into the anime. That just started airing, I think, not too long ago. I believe like all of the series is on Netflix currently, and I hear that every episode is an hour. So I actually might start watching it tonight. I might start watching it tomorrow. I'm not sure. I just know I'm gonna be watching it very freaking soon. I have such high hopes for that series because I absolutely loved the manga. So I can't wait. But like I said, Naoki Urasawa series I feel like are way better enjoyed when you are binging them from start to finish. And I will be waiting for this series to conclude. I have other series in my collection from Naoki Urasawa that I definitely should get into, like Monster or 20th Century Boys. So hear nothing but great things about those series as well. But until then, like I said, I will wait for this to conclude. And until then, I will enjoy the Pluto anime. Now, something not as introspective and as deep as Naoki Urasawa works usually are, we have just typical action manga in the form of Record of Ragnarok Volume 8. I'm still picking these volumes up. I haven't started reading them yet because because I want to binge them. Just, it's a typical action manga. I don't know how far this is going to go or how many volumes this is expected to be, but I'll wait till then. I think I love binging my series. I always mention it. Even if it's just an action series that has no real deep thinking behind it, I think just indulging in a series by binging it from start to finish, I think that is just such a good way of enjoying the content that a series has to provide. And I will continue to do that for a majority of my series, depending on how excited I am to read them. This one I am very excited to read, but I want to wait until it's finished, possibly, maybe not too long in the future before I start it, because it is definitely up my alley, and I've been eyeing it for a while, but the motivation isn't there quite yet, and like I mention all the time, when a series concludes, the motivation skyrockets. So I might wait till then. I don't know yet, but I'll keep you all updated. And to follow that is a series that actually is concluding soon. I believe this to be the penultimate volume, and that is Volume 30 of Golden Kamuy. This series, when this concludes, I'm telling you right now, I am binging it as well. This has been on my binge radar for quite a while. I am a huge fan of the anime. I'm very much behind on the anime, but for good reason, because I've been waiting for the series to conclude, to finally binge through the entire manga, and then I'll go back and restart and binge through the entire anime, because this is one of the series that it's definitely up my alley. The anime really captured me, and I watched more of the anime than I did read the manga. I believe I read volume 1 of the manga to see how I felt about the series as a whole, and then me and my roommate at the time binged through everything that was currently available in the anime. We absolutely fell in love with the series. So I'm waiting for this to conclude, and then I'm binging through all of it, and I cannot wait to do so. And now we're almost finished. The next 2 items we have are some hardcovers from Viz, starting off with Volume 10 of Fist of the North Star. Yet another series, and I'm waiting for it to conclude before I binge through all of it. I hear incredible things about it. I hear incredible things about this volume. I hear a lot really happens in this volume, but I don't know what's going on. I believe there's going to be like 18 of these hardcovers or 17 of these hardcovers. I can't remember exactly, but I'm waiting for the series to conclude, and then I'm going to binge through the entire series and see where all the hype is about. This is just such a classic I'm gonna punch that guy manga, and I hear, like I said, incredible things about it, so I know I'm going to enjoy it. I'm just waiting for it to conclude before I binge through the entire series. Now, before we get into this rare out of print series that I cannot wait to show you all, let's go ahead and get to the second to final item that I picked up that I'm kind of on the fence about, that I don't know if it's manga or not, because there is manga in it, but I'm not sure what entirely the goal behind this is. But it is Full Metal Alchemist, the 20th anniversary book. This is personally really motivating me to pick up the hardcover editions of, or is it called the Full Metal editions of Full Metal Alchemist, because this is the same trim size, same hardcover. This is definitely meant to go along and next to your hardcovers of Full Metal Alchemist. It even has the same glossy paper. Like, I don't know what exactly this was meant to be. It says that there are a bit of manga, some interviews from Arakawa in here as well. There's a lot of really good stuff for a Full Metal Alchemist fan, which I could personally say that I am. And I just don't know what the goal behind this was. All I know is I saw 20th anniversary book, and I said, yep, I'm getting that. That's really it. I'm just such a huge fan of Full Metal Alchemist. It is one of the series that really got me to fall in love with manga. And the first series to really bring a tear to my eye and make me cry. It is just such a good series. And to have this 20th anniversary book definitely is like an homage to how much I enjoyed and loved the series. And like I said, it is just looking at it and holding it in my hands is really making me want to double dip and get the hardcover editions of Full Metal Alchemist. So we'll see how that goes. Now, lastly, from Viz Media. This is a series that, like I mentioned, it is out of print. It is rare. And I just got so lucky to find this listing on eBay. And I got even luckier finding every volume that it was missing. And I'm just so happy and so excited to show you all. Like I said, this is a series that's been on my radar for a very long time. I know next to nothing about the series, but when I first started getting into collecting and I was looking into manga that I wanted to get into, this kind of like samurai tropey aesthetic of this manga really drew me to it, and I kind of like accepted that I was probably never gonna get it. Some of the volumes are still readily available, but others there are almost nowhere to be found. Especially one of them here go for hundreds sometimes of dollars. The cheapest I found outside of the listing that I personally got was like $80, and it's shipping from like one of them was like 80 or 90 bucks shipping from the US, and other one was even cheaper. It was like 60 something, but it's shipping from Australia or New Zealand, which was going to come out to like a total of $90 to $100. So I got lucky finding this. But okay, let me stop like googling about it. Let me go ahead and start showing you guys off these volumes. And that series is Nura Rise of the Yokai Clan. This series has been on my radar for so freaking long, and I was able to piece together an entire set. So what I found on Amazon was a listing of somebody selling, I believe it was volume 2, volume 7 to 10, and 12 to 25. So all I had to do was find 6 volumes, which is volume 1, volume 3, 4, 5, 6, and volume 11. Volume 11 being the most elusive and the most expensive. I actually took quite a gamble on this series, not just from the eBay listing, but from everything else that I needed to find, because I decided, and I don't know why I did this, I decided that I was going to take a gamble and order all the volumes outside of volume 11 that I needed, so volume 1 and volumes 3 to 6. I decided I was going to go ahead and order all those through third-party sellers on Amazon. And some of the volumes have seen better days, but in my opinion, I feel like I got fairly lucky. So I started reading this one. Volume 1 isn't in the best condition. It is pretty yellowed. It has a sticker on the back. I believe it's not an ex-library copy, but this copy has seen way better days. Like, it's very yellow, and it seems like it might have taken a bit of water damage, but how much I paid for this was like, I think I paid like $6 for this one through a third-party seller on Amazon, so I'm not complaining about this one. But we got volume 1 there. Volume 2 was one of the volumes that came from the eBay listing, and the eBay listing was impeccable. I'll add a bit of B-roll right here of me opening the package. It was packaged incredibly, and these volumes are impeccable. There are no yellowing, and it looks incredible. Like, the pages aren't even yellowed. There's no stickers or stamps or anything. Like, these weren't ex-library copies. Someone bought these and held them in very good and pristine held them in very good pristine edition, and I got them for all less than retail. Like, the total I got like maybe for $7 something a volume. This volume 2. Volume 3 was another volume that I got from Amazon, which, once again, I got pretty lucky. Not too yellow, not too beat up. Was this one another library copy? No, this one wasn't a library copy. Like, it was in really, really good condition. Man, volume 4, another one that I got from eBay. This one, I don't think, nope, this one wasn't an eBay, ex-library copy either. No stamps, little yellowing, some stickers on the back from the retailer I bought it from, but all things considered, a very, very good condition. This one is one of the worst conditions I have, because it is an ex-library copy. Like, you can see the sticker here. There is a laminate on it. It is a little yellow. It has a bit of the stampage there, if that's the proper terminology. The inside of it is being kind of like, you can feel it when you open, like there's a little bit of a tape here. There's a sticker here. More stickers up here. And in the back is really embarrassing. Like, this page is a bit ripped. There, I'm sure you guys can kind of see it. And then it has this thing here. I don't know how I'm going to remove that, if I'm ever going to decide to do so. Probably not. So yeah, this is probably the one that's in the worst condition. But like I said, all things considered, I feel like I got pretty lucky considering how much I paid for these volumes from the third-party sellers on Amazon. And then volume 6, this one, once again, really lucky. Like, I can't tell you how happy I was when I was opening these Amazon packages from these third-party sellers, like kind of expecting the worst, but these came in like really good condition. And I say the reason why I was expecting the worst is because when it came down to my first ever third-party seller on Amazon purchase I made, this was the volume I got, and it's volume 10 of Siren. This one was ex-library copy, very yellowed up top, very yellowed on the side, not so much on the bottom. But this one, once again, all things considered, is in really good condition. Like, it just has a laminate, it has a stamp on the final page, and then it has these stickers on the inside of the cover. But all things considered, it was in pretty good condition. But this is what I kind of expected everything to come in from third-party sellers for Nura, but like worse. But I got so freaking lucky. So lucky. And now everything that is coming up, besides volume 11, are all volumes that I got from the eBay seller. And it was, like I said, incredible condition. It's volume 7, volume 8, 9, 10, 11 I also got on eBay. This one is the probably second to worst volume that I have, but I'll go ahead and put some pictures online of other copies of this same volume on eBay and how much they're going for. So once again, all things considered, I feel like I got a pretty decent price. I did not pay that much, I'll tell you that much. But this is from the Kansas City Public Library. The cover is a bit like, what's the word I'm looking for? Crinkled, a little beat up, but it's all right. It doesn't bother me too much. The spine only has like a bit of a nick in the corner there, and then, like I said, there's a stamp up top, and then I don't think there's any stamps throughout the volume or any stickers besides on the end here, those two stickers. Other than that, pretty good condition considering how much I paid for it and how much that volume is going for. It's actually insane. And this is on the original eBay listing. Got volume 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and the final volume, volume 25. Like I said, a lot of these are still fairly available, I believe on Amazon, I believe some of them are available on Crunchyroll. Some of them are still in stock, but some of them have been removed from the website because they have no idea if they're going to be reprinted and restocked. And I believe some of those volumes are the ones that I had to get through third-party sellers on Amazon. But nonetheless, I am beyond happy that I got this entire set for a fairly good price. And piecing it together all within the month, like, I was afraid that I was just taking advantage of this one listing I saw, and I was like, okay, getting everything else is going to be like pulling teeth, might be impossible, I'm not sure. But I jumped right on it, started trying to look for it, started trying to piece it together, and I got extremely lucky on finding the entire series when I needed it. So that's it. That is the last thing I wanted to show you that I got from this month's haul. Is, like I said, a grail that I am so happy and beyond excited to have in my collection. Volumes 1 through 25, a complete set of Nura Rise of the Yokai Clan. I actually started reading that series. I started reading volume 1 the other night. I was really tired, but I was looking at it, I was like, I need to read some, so not much. I don't even think that's like the first chapter. First chapter is pretty long, but so far I'm enjoying the art itself. I think the story has a lot of potential so far, but this series, like I said, it's been on my radar for a really long time. This was one of the grails that I really wanted outside of Rurouni Kenshin. Like, those were the two like kind of samurai tropey manga that I really wanted in my collection when I first started collecting, and both of them I thought I was never gonna get my hands on. But I am so freaking lucky that I did. And I actually got them like about a year apart. I can't remember exactly when I got Rurouni Kenshin, but it's been about a year or two apart. But so freaking excited to have it. Well, that's going to do it for this month's manga haul. Like I said, we had over 80 volumes, I believe 81 total volumes, 82 if you're counting the 30th anniversary book for Full Metal Alchemist. But that's a pretty hefty haul. I didn't expect to have that much, but when I saw Nura going for that sweet deal, I could not pass it up. I had to freaking jump on it. So today's question of the day, only because I am so excited about this series, is have you guys watched the Nura anime or have you read the Nura manga? Tell me how you felt about it in the comment section down below. One of my best friends watched and read the anime and the manga growing up, and he said it was one of his favorite series, and even his mother was really into it. So that to me says a lot about how good this series is. But I want to hear what your opinion is on that series. Now, before we go, we're going to go ahead and talk about what you all have to do in the comment section down below to win this copy of Spider-Man Fake Red. Like I said, this was an extra copy that they accidentally sent to me, but I want to go ahead and give it away to one of you all. So, the stipulations, what you have to do is, of course, be subscribed to the channel. Comment down below what you liked about this haul, and at the end of the comment, put hashtag Fake Red so I can go ahead and pull your comments out of the comment section down below. And that's it. Just subscribe and comment down below. I'm not going to make you go to my Instagram because I feel like it's going to be a little too complicated. But that's all I want you guys to do is subscribe to the channel and comment down below hashtag Fake Red. But I'll be choosing the winner from the comment section down below at the end of the month. So you guys have all that time to comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and you have a chance to win yourself a copy of Fake Red. Well, that's going to be it for the manga haul. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Please, of course, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down in the comment section down below what you thought of the haul this month, and any opinions you have on any of the series I had, or how I can improve my videos. Well, that's going to be all from me. It's been your boy Shonen Caesar, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.